Hello, wonderful people, and welcome to Checkpoint on Campus. I am your host, Jacob Rose, and joined with me, as always, is Erica Sadora. Erica, how do you fare today?
I am doing quite well. How do you fare today?
I am doing quite fantabulous, but something even more fantabulous is our episode of On Campus. This week in the queue, we are having an interview with Ken Nicolas of Triton Esports. We are talking about Ball State University partnering with Raul Letterman for an esports scholarship. We're going to give you our infamous preview review, and we'll be wrapping up the show with Team Flash announcing a partnership with Burn Gaming. All coming up in this week of On Campus. Don't you go anywhere. Hello and welcome to Checkpoint on Campus. I am Jacob Brothers, and joining me is a very special guest. I am joined by Ken San Nicolas, the esports manager of the University of Guam Triton Esports. Ken, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me, Jacob.
Yeah, so there's been a news story going around about a little team of yours for some Super Smash Brothers players who went to the NACE Super Smash Brothers finals and really fragged out. And so this was the first time they played in intercollegiate play. And so from beginning to end, I'd love for you to walk me through just the tournament itself, how your players did, where they placed, just how the tournament went.
Sure. So, I mean, a little background, right? We're from the University of Guam, located on the island of Guam in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, thousands of miles from anything,
Right.
right? But, important geographic location for multiple reasons, both military and like infrastructure, like internet infrastructure, right? So, important little place in the Pacific Ocean. Um, Last semester, fall, was our first foray into official intercollegiate esports. We joined the NACE banner, and we entered a Smash team, or we entered players into the Smash league. Four of our eight players at the time qualified in the Western qualifier. So they made, three. Let me give the information correctly here. Three were in the top eight. One was in the top 10. So the top eight from each region move on to the 32-man final
Right.
bracket, right? So that was a surprise to me. Like, I was like, hey guys, enter the qualifier. We'll see how you do. It might be fun, right? And three of them were like, hey guys, we made the top eight, and it looks like we're gonna play in the final. I was like, wow, that's amazing. And the day of the final, literally, I think the day of the final, the fourth person was made aware that they would have to fill somebody else who was unable to compete uh, on that day. So we had the four players. For us, the time zone is like 3 in the morning. So these guys had to be up at 3 a.m., set up. There were a couple logistical delays with the tournament that day. So, you know, I think we started maybe 2.5 hours into it. And they enjoyed it. Like, they, the qualifiers ended in December. So they were kind of really anxious about actually competing in the final because at that point it's like, wow, we have a chance to really be like top eight in the nation on the collegiate front. So they were really pushing for it. A couple guys went 0-2, a couple guys went 1-2. But honestly, if all of them went 0-2, I would have still been super proud. Just for them to make it that far, they really gave it their all. Even after the defeats, they weren't disappointed. Or they were disappointed, but they weren't salty or losing sleep over it. Like they gave it
Right.
their best shot, and really, I think that shows a lot of their character. Really, it was their first time to get there.
An incredible feat. And so how did your players all? You were getting to this. So how did all your players feel? Like in this, like were they like shocked after the qualifiers? Like, oh, we're gonna be at least top 32 nationally.
Oh yeah, I was shocked. I wasn't sure they were. I was like, wait, what are you guys talking about? Like, just played the one qualifier, right? And then it's shocking to me. Actually, on Guam, we have a huge Smash team. We have
Okay.
a couple players that are like unknown players, but they're just exceptionally good. And two of these players on the Smash team, I remember when they played in high school because we used to run like high school leagues here. And they were, I would say, they were on the lower level of, I guess the competitive skill locally. But clearly their experience in the program and the coaching they received, shout outs to our coach, Adrian Cabradilia, they really excelled and improved, and they're probably two of the better players on the program now. So for them to make top eight, in the Western qualifier and then make the top 32 was incredible. It's an incredible feat. We
Yeah.
have huge logistic challenges with the internet here. Like I said, we're in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. Latency is horrible for us, but these guys are grinders. They don't care. There's no
Right.
excuses.
I mean,
They just come
honestly,
to play.
one of the biggest accomplishments I feel like is playing from so far away. I mean, playing at 3 a.m. and winning. I feel like a lot of players wouldn't be able to do that. I wouldn't be able to do that. Okay, so
It's a grind for sure.
yeah. So talk to me a little bit about the Guam scene. So I know that 3 of your 4 players, this is their first semester. So does Triton Esports have a big presence in the Guam Smash scene, or like how does that look? Or rather, bonus question: is the competitive scene in Guam like on par with the U.S., or is it better? Is it worse? Where does it all sit?
I would say that I would say that there's a handful, maybe 3 or 4 players that would be, they're not going to be like Mango or someone, right? Like they're
Okay.
not crazy, but they're good. We've had a couple Smash players. We just guy named Isaiah Colon. He, I guess his tag is Snake Tribe. He was like number 2 North Dakota for a
Okay.
long time. He was stationed in Guam in the army, and he played in tournaments, and he didn't win those tournaments. So I would, well, he won some, but he didn't win every tournament. So I would consider a lot of Guam players, or at least 5 to 10 Guam players, to be pretty good at Smash in general. And I think the athletes that we received in our program, they were low to mid level, right? They weren't the top players. The top players have already graduated. They're older. But these younger players have shown competency and growth. And I would venture to say that if we were to hold a local tournament in the next month or 2 months, that a bunch of these players would take
Yeah.
top 4, top 8 spots. So they are actually pretty good.
Okay, awesome. And so you mentioned the coaching just a little bit ago, and I wanted to ask you specifically about that. So with 3 of your 4 players being new to the program and then going as far as they did, like what was the secret sauce? Like was it just that the players that you guys had picked up just had great fundamentals and you just pushed them in the right direction, or what was it that got them to perform so well so quickly?
It's you know what like the coach, we have 2 coaches, and the main coach, head coach's name's Adrian Cabradelia. This guy's like a fighting game savant. He just he studies and labs and practices, and he kind of really impresses that type of desire and I want to say fanaticism, and like just like these guys they practice every day, right? They practice like 6 days a week. They do offline and online practice just to have uh make sure that their skills are honed for the different situations. They do like VOD review. Adrian, every day he will ask them for like one matchup that they struggled with, or with like a VOD, and he will break down a VOD for each of the players, right? And our program right now has 11 Smash players,
Okay.
so we're talking like 11 videos a day that are broke down. And when these athletes play, they also put in information like how their matches went. Like, and I guess when you mindlessly play fighting games, like I could mindlessly play like Marvel for 3 hours a day, 5 hours a day, and just bake out. And after, I wouldn't be able to tell you like
Right.
what I learned, right?
Takeaways, things like
Um,
that. Yeah.
yeah, but these guys are really cognizant about every hour or every moment that they spend in the game, that it's to learn. It is to improve, which I think is just I'm really surprised at their growth. Like, so really, this guy is doing. Adrian is like the coach. Other coaches out there, if you want to, kind of poach him from me, look this guy up. Adrian Cabradelia. He's the best kept secret in Smash coaching. He's amazing. And yeah, I wish that his kind of teaching style could be inflected upon other types of titles that we have on our program, and I hope they do. But yeah, he's just and also our program has a lot of other stuff. We have a lot of uh, community building things. Like we have a physical fitness coach, so that
Oh, okay.
all the players come out, they work out together. They have a mental health coach that they have to check in with every 2 weeks. That just checks how they're doing with their schoolwork and their mindset prepping for a tournament. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's
It's kind
fantastic.
of interesting.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah, we're small, so.
yeah, speaking of just how well they've done so quickly, let's talk about the future. How do you, looking into your crystal ball,
Hmm.
how do you envision Triton Esports to do in the next coming year?
Uh,
Be
for
bold, man.
Smash,
Yeah,
right?
make your bold just for Smash. Yeah, make your bold prediction.
Sure. Bold prediction. If it continues the way we are going, I think at least in this group bracket, because now we do crew battles, right? It's 4v4
Right.
crew battles for NACE. I think we go 6-2 and maybe 7-1 in crew battles.
Okay.
I think like I think for whatever reason I believe Smash is different from other types of games that are played online, because maybe the netcode is challenging
Mm-hmm.
for everybody. Like it's like for like another game, League of Legends, like we play at 160 170 ping. Shooting games like CSGO, we play like the same ping. This is impossible. This is near impossible. Okay, we're not winning games. Like our goal is not to win games there right now. Okay, but with the nature of I guess the Switch peer-to-peer connection, maybe our opponents feel the same type of difficulties that we
Okay.
feel. So it really evens the playing field for us. And I think this is something that if you've lived on Guam, you've grown up with it all your life. So this is the world you live in, right?
You're used to it, yeah.
Being 100 milliseconds behind. So I think it may be our competitive advantage. And we have to play at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. sometimes. But it is what it is. Like we got to make our sacrifices to compete
Grinders
in what we
grind.
like. So that's what we do. Definitely.
Absolutely. Well, Ken, this has been awesome. I really appreciate you coming on to the show to talk to me about your program, and I wish Triton Esports the absolute best in this upcoming season.
Thank you so much. I'm really glad to be here. Wish you the best with the podcast and everything. And if you ever want to reach out, hit me up.
Absolutely. Thanks, man. Welcome back to Checkpoint on Campus. Jacob Brothers is here, and esports scholarships show no sign of stopping as Ball State Esports has announced a partnership with Rawl, Letterman, Lanigan Racing. Say that 3 times really quick. And to talk to us about it, we're going to throw it over to Melanie Ruther.
Ball State University has partnered with Rahal Letterman Lanigan Racing. This partnership will be providing 2 $5,000 scholarships to 2 students within Ball State's esports teams each year for the next 3 academic years. RLL partnered with Ball State in hopes of promoting sim racing and intends to have the esports program students participate in community events with them. In celebration of the partnership, 2 drivers from the RLL team competed in the IndyCar Motorsport Games Pro Challenge from the Ball State Esports Center, which can be found on the RLL YouTube channel.
Thanks for that, Melanie. My favorite part of this partnership is actually what happened to celebrate it when they had the 2 RLL drivers, Jack Harvey and Christian Lugard, compete in their Motorsport Games Pro Challenge at Ball State Esports. They have their racing sims all set up. And I guess I didn't even know about this league, but it's a league where all of these pros use their pro racing setups to race in a virtual NASCAR environment. And to do that, they went to Ball State to use their rigs. And I think that's super cool. Scholarships are only a good thing. And I can't wait to see more partnerships like this coming up in the future. But coming up in the immediate future is our preview review right after this.
Welcome to our preview review. I'm Erica, that's Jacob, and today I have some fantastic league news for you guys. Every week there's always something new, but today is fantastic because the Proving Ground Qualifiers number 2 actually started yesterday. They have blessed us with 2 rounds, and for our first round we actually have No Team versus Winston King of Amateur and Radiance GG versus GVU. That is, it's a mouthful, but this game was incredible because we have No Team and GVU as the winners. But let me say, I want to shout out Griffin LOL and Scooped LOL because they both played incredibly well. Griffin had an incredible and honestly horrifying Xin Zhao, and Scooped had the first penta of the entire series today, which is incredible, right? I mean, like a whole penta. Like in the first 30 minutes.
Dang.
Anyways, I know, right? For our second round teams, we have Winthrop versus Maryville, or as they like to call themselves, the Maryville Secret Weapon Squad. That's terrifying. And we also have Wildcard Gaming versus Ginger Turmeric, which is a really cute name. Every time I mention Winthrop, my heart throbs. Everyone knows it. The world knows it. And Winthrops are awesome. But they played so well, and I think this new rivalry between Maryville, the Secret Weapons versus Winthrop, it's it stops my heart because there is no skill disparity between these teams. It's honestly just pure mechanics and just outplaying the other team. And watching them is really just like a cat mouse game on the Rift. I want to shout out Ivano on Winthrop. He played an incredible Jace, and also Ginger Turmeric Scion. If you want to watch these clips, please check them out on Unified Live because they are heart-stopping, they are incredible, as I always say, but they are fun.
Thanks, Erica. And now you know it, you love it. Halo is here, and it is here to stay. The UGC Halo Infinite Collegiate Spring is now officially underway. There are 96 teams that are split into 12 divisions of 8. That's a lot of schools and a lot of players. Almost every single division has at least 2 undefeated teams. The majority of the teams have played 2 matches so far, and again, there are a lot of teams that are currently undefeated. College Halo UGC rather, has come out with power rankings for this week, with Ryerson University being number 1, Rutgers University being number 2, and Texas State being number 3. This is kind of an interesting power ranking because Ryerson has already dropped the map, Rutgers still needs to play their second match, and Texas State has also dropped the map. So of the 10 to 12 undefeated teams, they were not power ranked in the top 3, which I find interesting. Now, power ranks 4 and 5 was ASU and UONA. Both those teams are undefeated, and looks like they are not going to go anywhere. ASU already did phenomenal in earlier tournaments before the season started. So I expect ASU to kind of eventually get up to that number 1 spot. And remember, all of these Halo matches are happening on Tuesday, starting at 5 p.m. CST. So if you want to catch these matches, check out both College Halo and UGC on Twitch. For esports going on around the rest of the world, here's our interns.
The second qualifiers for CRL were exciting. So many remarkable goals, impressive moves, and professional teamwork. But the match between University of St. Thomas and USD was the best for me personally. It ended as 3-2 with St. Thomas as a victor, and they gave USD a run for their money. With Bronski, Blakester, and Ben Storm as a combined force for St. Thomas, they pulled off an amazing game. Not only did they have 3 goals, but they also had 3 assists, 3 saves, and 7 shots. At first it was a slow game, but things picked up around the second half. USD came out of nowhere with 2 goals and had St. Thomas on the ropes. USD were planning the shots very carefully and using their aerial moves very sparingly. Instead of going for the goals immediately, USD were stepping back and wanted to control the ball more. This gave them an advantage over St. Thomas, and it worked as they changed their strategy and really had St. Thomas to play a different game. So what St. Thomas started doing, they had to work together and back each other up with not just ground, but also aerial moves. As one person moved the ball along the field, another person would come from above and shoot the ball into the goal. And they were doing this hybrid strategy a lot of times, or they will roll a ball along the stadium walls, then they'll push it down to the field and get it away from USD players. So it was just amazing to see St. Thomas just change the strategy last minute. They adapted to the game, and it was a fantastic game.
You know it. You love it. We're here talking about some good old-fashioned Smash Bros. Ultimate. The collegiate season is in full swing, and the spring 2022 season is going on now. The NACE and the ECAC conferences have some great teams competing well and performing well even early on like this. First of all, when it comes to the NACE, we have Michigan State at the top of the Michigan Conference with 3-0 so far, undefeated like they did in past seasons. When it comes to the Texas community and the Texas region, they are impressing once again. We've got UT Dallas, UT Austin, and University of Houston, all undefeated so far, doing just as well as they did in past seasons, so we love to see them keeping up that reputation. Northwood University, which we know has great esports as a whole, Smash is no different when it comes to that because they are undefeated, going 3-0 there. So the NACE has some great players and great teams so far. When it comes to the ECAC, some top undefeated teams, Dallas Baptist University, Nazareth College, Bay State University, and SNUY Canton are all undefeated so far. And a great matchup we had on Valentine's Day was FAU versus Bay State, and Bay State took that win. They went 2-0 against FAU, so the ECAC has some great things going on there. When it comes to some new qualifiers and tournaments, Collegiate Smash is back with some new qualifiers. The Spring 2022 qualifiers are going on right now with a few sign-up spots left over. You can sign up on their Discord if you are interested, but there's going to be a 4-bracket qualifier with 2 days of finals and a $500 grand prize. So if you're interested in that, feel free to visit their Twitter at Collegiate Smash or at Braghouse, which is sponsoring that qualifier as well. So when it comes to the Smash season, it is a little early on, but we love to see the great matchups and the great teams impressing once again. That's what I've got for you.
Monday started off probably with the best match of the week, with number 24 Akron going up against the Ohio State. The game went down to the wire on map 5, which saw Akron being able to avoid the upset on the final round. There was also a nice ranked matchup between number 6 Arizona State going up against number 9 Grand Canyon University. GCU ended up sweeping ASU to pull off the upset. The rest of Monday was nothing too special, as every other game was either 3-0 or 3-1. The winners of those games were Nicholls State, Wisconsin, UT Austin, and Oklahoma State. Tuesday wasn't much better in terms of quality of games. There were some notable matchups like number 2 Northwood going up against number 17 Michigan, and number 3 Interdependence Community College going up against number 4 Ottawa. But both these games ended in sweeps for Northwood and Ottawa. The rest of the winners were number 23 Davenport, number 15 Barry University, North Carolina Wilmington, and Shenandoah.
Hello, my name is Jose, and this is your weekly rundown of CSGO. Let's get to it. Starting off first with my favorite matchup of round 2, K-State versus NU Gold. The two would go toe-to-toe for much of the first 2 maps. Ultimately, K-State would get ahead and dominate NU with Nuke with a score of 16-5. But let's move on to a matchup between 2 teams that may have not looked like much but had tremendous bite going into round 2. The Bearcats and ODU Esports. The two would trade off victories in Nuke and Overpass and go into the most hard-fought map of the matchup, Vertigo. In the end, the Bearcats emerged victorious. Moving on to CU versus UC. The matchup turned into a frenzy early on, with CU gaining the upper hand in Inferno and edging out UC in the third map, Nuke, with a score of 16-14. We're going to see Nuke pop up some more, along with other contested maps. Now, this next one may come as a surprise by all accounts. The outcome was the same, however the journey there was not. Golden Hurricane gave OSU BGC Scarlet a run for their money with an impressive display in Mirage, winning 4-16. However, they would be edged out by the Scarlet in 16-14 in Agent. Last but not least of all of these intense matchups, CMU Gold versus UCF Academy. CMU and UCF traded shots, and Hayon of CMU was the MVP of this matchup, going on to achieve a pentakill in the first map. In the end, CMU would edge UCF Academy in Inferno 16-13. This has been all for me. See you next time.
It's an exciting week for Overwatch fans, as we have the Collegiate Championship Series 2022 starting this Saturday at 12 p.m. Central with the Swiss stage. Teams have been split into 2 regions, East and West, and the top 32 teams will move on to the group stage. Also this week, we had round 4 of NA Star League's Varsity Overwatch Tournament. Some of those match results were Bay State 3-0ing the Carleton Ravens, RIT Orange 3-0ing the St. Clair Saints, Harrisburg University 3-0ing LC Falcons, Northwood 3-0ing the University of Cincinnati Bearcats, and LSU Esports 3-0ing the St. Leo Esports team.
DPS ultimates going up against an Earthshatter as well as an Ant Matrix. It's really down to Available. Can they get this Riptire online? And Essel does it again!
Essel with the Riptire says no shot.
Hello for the last time this week. Jacob Brothers is still here. Erica Sidora is still there. And we are here to talk about Team Flash partnering with Burn Gaming. And this is kind of an interesting merger. So Team Flash, they're an esports org from Singapore. They're going to be collaborating with Burn Gaming, who is an esports team from Cambodia that plays Mobile Legends Bang Bang, which we have talked about a couple times on this show. Both orgs plan on working together to enhance both of their Mobile Legends teams, as well as getting Team Flash in on the Cambodian esports market. Team Flash has teams across League of Legends, Arena of Valor, and Mobile Legends, while Burn Gaming is only Mobile Legends. And so one of the reasons why I want to talk about this is that it's not very often that we hear about a partnership happening. It's not like Team Liquid partners with Cloud9 to have a big North American presence, right? Like that's not something that happens. And so my question to you, Erica, is why do you think that esports organizations generally try to stay in the region that they're at, market-wise?
Mostly Honestly, mostly because their audience is there and they haven't been able to expand beyond Cambodia. I know Singapore and a lot of like Southeast Asian also countries are really into League of Legends and esports, so I think this is a starting path for Cambodians and also like similar esports communities to finally get together and like, hey, we can do this like North America is doing it, so we can do it. But we also see some interesting market changes. Like previously, we talked about a finance company buying up an esports team, or participating in esports, which was incredible. So I think every month we talk about like something new, we're always going to be impressed because these guys like they got it made in the brain, man. Like they're
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. I think of it kind of like, because like when I think of the NFL, right, and we only have teams in North America, and so like the Dallas Cowboys or the Raiders, they'll try to market to Mexico because like there's not a team there to compete with. And I think esports falls into that similar pool of where it's so easy to make esports teams. It's already easy to make teams that are relevant to the people in that space. Like, the Houston Outlaws aren't going to try to advertise to the Hangzhou people because the Hangzhou people have the spark. And so hopefully Team Flash finds the success that they're looking for in Cambodia. So given the kind of unique partnership, it would be interesting to see that if this is successful, if other partnerships like this happen in the future of teams trying to find new markets and new regions. But time will only tell. But with that, that is our show. Thank you very much for watching. For more, check out all of our content on checkpointxp.com. We got videos all the time. We have articles all the time. And it is popping, locking, and dropping. And remember, we hope that you guys have a great week. And remember that we will always and forever love you. Have a great week. Sweet.